All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. As you know, our family moved up to North Idaho about a year and a half ago. And since we've been here, we've really had to kind of change some of our strategy for cold weather driving, travel in inclement weather. As you also know, in the last couple weeks, we've had some really crazy weather across North America that's been like record-breaking low temperatures and snowstorms and all sorts of crazy things been going on. And so that makes this video kind of important. If you're going to do any amount of traveling, if you travel across areas where you don't have a lot of infrastructure, service station, stores, that type of thing, then you should probably be thinking about putting together kind of a recovery road kit. This is not an extensive one. I'm still learning. In the comments, leave stuff that you think I should put in this kit. Right now, I'm sort of dialing it in for winter weather. You'll see some stuff in here that's a little bit different than if it was, 90 degrees out and we're doing a road trip. But we break down on the side of the road and just something to kind of get us out of a bind. It's kind of peace of mind to always be able to throw this in your car when you need to. I try to keep it in this Action Packer box. Yeah, they're really cool. They're really great. They're super tough. You can use them to stand on if you need to reach up and get something, or use them as a, as a seat if you're working on a tire. They're actually really durable for being a plastic type box. All right, so let's get into this right now. All right, so this is the Action Packer box that we use, small size. Pop it open, we'll see what we got in here. All right, so the first thing I have here is kind of this Ziploc bag full of, it's kind of lights and duct tape and that kind of thing. So when you're stranded on the side of the road, you really kind of want something that that lights the area up. It's good for, alerting other drivers. They can see you better. And these are great. I mean, I have a couple of these. One I keep in the shop here. I use quite a lot. It's all beat up. And this one I've kept it in this box for years. Just make sure the batteries are good. So those are in there at all times. Then I have an extra set here in this bag. Kind of nice to have a couple of, rags. You can wipe things down. That's always nice. Zip ties, duct tape. I have some Gorilla Tape here. Always have some duct tape, These are nice rubber bands, just stuff you can tie things down, zip ties. I mean, my whole truck is tied together with zip ties, or it was. Don't tell anybody. That zip tie's been on there for like 5 years. Another zip tie. Zip tie. But those come in so handy just when you need something quick. Just try to kind of keep that stuff dry if possible. So that kind of stays in there. That's good signaling stuff. You're changing a tire, nice to have a bright light. Those lights are, like I said, they're great. I've used them for years. I'm always in need of bungee cords, so I rubber banded, 4 or 5 of these together. It doesn't have to be a ton of them, but just stuff to secure loads, and you always need them. And also the same goes for a couple of these tie-down straps. I just kind of have them all tied together. Just make sure they're not flopping around loose in there, otherwise they get so tangled up you don't know what's actually happening. So a couple of those. Winter time, I really like this shovel. I've had this for several years, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's one of these kind of lightweight backpacker type shovels, but I know you can't even see it all in frame. But these are awesome just for clearing snow out around your tires. It might get you out of a bind and just get you to the point where you can drive out. Pretty nice. So for winter driving, that's the deal. Flat tires, man. Flat tires will get you stopped quicker than anything. So fix a flat. I don't know. There's mixed review on that. It kind of depends. If I have time to repair it right, I have other options in here. But like on a trailer or something like that, yeah, you can just throw it in there and go fill it up. Gloves, man. You got to have gloves. So it's winter time, so I put these in here. These are kind of an insulated, rubberized outer glove. You can put chains on with them, and just, they're just so nice to have, especially putting chains on. Just, you're always so cold out there. And, you ever notice when you need to put chains on, it's always in the worst possible conditions, right? So kind of prepare for that. I don't know, ice scraper, I threw that in there. I don't know if you need that. It should be in the car. Jumper cables or these. To be honest, I have jumper cables. I used to have this thing full of jumper cables, but I found that this battery-powered jumper cable, there's probably better ones on the market now. Make sure it's charged, but I've started more cars with this than the jumper cables. They just work better. So I don't know how to explain it, but you know, make sure it's charged. And you know, this kind of comes in and out of this kit depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm taking the ATV somewhere. I'm going to bring that. So I'm always aware of like where this thing is, and I'd like to get another one or two of these. These are great. If you guys know of the best one, like, you know, the top quality version of one of these, like maybe it's a little more powerful, the latest, greatest thing, just let me know in the comments, because these are great, and it's so much smaller than carrying a big old box full of jumper cables. It just takes up so much space. I've used this on the road before. Just a simple, like, this thing's thrashed. I mean, this is an old Harbor Freight air pump, you know, tire pump, and it works. It's slow, but it works. Not the greatest, but it does its job, and I've used it multiple times. So if you have to air down your tires and you can air them back up, it's not the fastest thing. Probably the most important thing besides tire chains in the winter is get a nice tarp. Just get these over at Harbor Freight. They're like $5, and you know, you put this out when you're working on something, changing tires, putting chains on. It's like, it's always the coldest, nastiest, wettest day, and just to be able to throw this down. I've used a tarp, you know, when you're having to change a blown tire, and it just makes, you know, it just makes a world of difference. So get a tarp. Just, they're so cheap, and throw in. Don't get a nice one. Toe strap. Yeah, I know. I should probably get a better one. This is about as wide as I could find. It's not the greatest thing. It's, you know, braking strength 20,000 pounds. There's way better stuff on the market now. I realize that, but it's simple. You can. It's, what is this? 20 feet. I don't know. I think it's a 20-footer or something like that. You can tow a car, but this is like a tow rope. But you know, I've pulled people out with it. I've used it, and it works fine. If you're pulling from a hitch, you know, it's, you know, rather than wrap it around a ball hitch, you can use that. You know, obviously the you know, the overlander community will frown on that. Oh, this is going to bend. This is probably going to break before this bends, anyways. And so throw one of those in there, and you can use that in the back of your hitch, and just kind of thread that through there. You can watch. There's a whole bunch of videos online on how to do that, and you can. You know, and then if this thing breaks, if it does break, like, this isn't going to go flying out at you. It's going to bend. And if this breaks, it doesn't carry any weight. So I figure it's probably safer to do that if possible. I will be investing in some soft shackles. I do have a shackle here. I've never really used it, but you know, if you want to tie onto another car, that's probably not going to. This is probably going to break before this. So. You know, have a couple of things in there, simple, you know, toe strap situation, or just tie it around it. You guys have seen me do a video on the ARB tire repair kit. I do carry that in here. Amazing kit. I fixed multiple tires over the years with this very kit. I'll link in the description. I think they still sell it or something similar to it. There's some other ones that are good. Oh, I don't know. I carry a wrench in there. I don't know. You always need one. And then some tire flares. These are sealed packages. Or tire flares. Just road flares. I have several of these. There's several more in each car. But you can start fires with them. Obviously, you know, use them as a flare, what they're intended for. And that's about it. Really, that's a pretty simple kit. I would like to throw, you know, a kinetic rope would be nice to put in here. You know, one of these kinetic toe straps. That would be a better situation than what I have here. But, you know, they're expensive, and this is not. So there's no excuse not to have something like this in your kit. And, you know, that might get you out of a bind. It's not, like I said, there's not a whole lot of complicated stuff in here. It's just your basic kit for, you know, getting out of a ditch, or helping somebody, you know, tow somebody back home, or get yourself towed. You know, a lot of people are willing to help, but they might not have, you know, a rope, and, you know, you got it right here. So that might make all the difference, especially in your winter travels. If you're in the summertime, you can switch out things, like you can save a little space and take these thin gloves. I really like these mechanics gloves. These, you know, really thin. You have a lot of dexterity, you know, but like in the winter, you know, they're really cold. So have some fun with gloves. Figure out what you want to use for those. There's, you know, endless endless options for that, but this is kind of, you know, and then of course this can't take the place of, like, you know, your tire changing kit that should be in your car. Like, usually most cars have that, you know, built in somewhere. I know both of our cars have, you know, the tire, you know, the lug nut wrench and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it shouldn't supplement that, because you don't, this is going to go in between vehicles, you know, depending on what you're using. So you kind of have to tailor it to, you know, to what you're doing. But this is, in my mind, kind of a basic recovery kit. Always kind of changing it and adding to it, taking stuff out. So just kind of figuring that out. But this shovel is great. You can, but I always have this shovel in the winter. I always throw it in the car because it's so handy to have. So not too complicated. There's your winter road recovery kit. All right, I hope you found that video helpful, informative, fun, whatever. Put together a winter kit, something that you can get out of a bind with. You can have some recovery straps in there, just some basic equipment to get yourself and your family home. I hope that helped. We're going to try to do a little bit more videos in the coming months as we kind of adapt to our new life up in northern Idaho. So follow along, like, subscribe, share, do all those things, and I hope to see you on the next one.